Welcome back to the Deadlight Society. I'm Michael,
Adam.
and I think we want to start off this week's episode with a thank you to all of our new subscribers that we just gained. Not going to go super far into details with everything, but recently reconnected with my father. He reached out to me the other day, and he has his own YouTube channel. Actually, two of them. I think one is Drones Are Eagles, and the other one is News Kensington. He was in Philadelphia, if you couldn't gather from that. But he reached out to me the other day, last week. We haven't talked in a few years, and kind of just gave me a shout out on his page. So his following there came over and showed us love on our podcast. So just wanted to give a shout out to that and thank all of the new followers that we have. We were stuck at like 22 or something subscribers for the longest time, and not that we were giving up hope that we were going to get any bigger, but it was just kind of frustrating because, we've been at this for like 4 months now. So it was getting a little bit frustrating, but
we're at this for 4 months, and then we had like a big influx of people onto our Facebook page that never subscribed. So it was like, we don't really have a gauge of like who actually listens. So it's stressful knowing how much work you're putting into something and not knowing like what's actually coming out of it.
Exactly. So, just wanted to start with a big thank you to that. So if you're new here, thank you for being here. Hope that you stick around. We're every day trying to get better and grow. That's why I mentioned in the last episode my Cash App information, because we're trying to get a mixer. We're trying to get all kinds of new equipment that we can make the audio sound a lot better, and also try to get some videos rolling in. So some stuff for some video equipment would be nice as well. So I will link my Cash App again in the description of this. So if you're willing and have a few extra bucks, I wouldn't mind trying to help us grow. We'd really appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, we're not looking for much. Like, literally $1 helps. Like, it's...
Yeah, literally
throw
anything.
50 cents at us. We don't fucking care. Anything helps.
Seriously. Like, any spare change, seriously. It's just we're trying to get better equipment so that we can sound a little bit better. Same thing with this episode. We're doing this remotely again. So if anything messes up on the track, we apologize. We're trying to make it work the best that we can
Just blame
right
me
now.
And move on.
Just No, I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to blame you. I just unfortunately don't have much time currently to like go over to his house a lot. So it's a lot easier when I'm there. But just with everything going on, my new job, and I'm in my last semester in college. So I just have a lot of lack of time available to me. So it's kind of where that's coming from. But we're trying our best here. But if we had better equipment, we'd definitely be able to manage a lot better. So, like I said, if you wouldn't mind donating to the Cash App, we would really appreciate that. But we definitely understand if you can't. So no harm, no foul. Just what you could do to help us then, if you can't donate any money, is just watch our videos and give us a like and subscribe if you can. That also helps us show up in the algorithm and possibly start making money off of like ad content and stuff like that. So we appreciate that as well. And also, same thing with like our Spotify. Like if you can go over and give our Spotify a follow and a like and a rate or whatever you can do on Spotify. I don't remember. I think it's a rate, but that also helps us. So, but yeah, just follow us on all of our stuff. We mainly communicate on Facebook. So if you look up our Facebook, it's just our name, the Deadlight Society. If you can't find us by typing that in, try to type in podcast after that. I've had luck with people finding it after they put in the podcast for some reason. So just search the Deadlight Society podcast and we should come up. It's the same logo that we use everywhere. So you'll know it's us. That's kind of where we update when, like last week, we ended up not being able to release an episode. So and that's where we communicate with everybody more. So if you can, go follow us on our Facebook page just so you can stay updated with us. And yeah, so I just wanted to give that general shout out in the beginning. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I got one more thing. I have that Face of Horror competition coming up starting on September 6th. If I'll post the link on our Facebook page then so everyone can see. But basically, you have the chance to win I think it's $10,000 or $13,000 walk-on part in an indie horror movie, and a magazine photo shoot with Kane Hodder with 2 nights staying in the house from Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill's house. So I was accepted into the competition, and I got my link the other week for voting. So I'm going to start blasting the shit out of that link, posting it everywhere. You could vote for me. That would be fucking fantastic. I would love you all if I could win this.
Just so they know, is voting free?
Yes, voting is absolutely free. I don't think you even have to sign up for anything.
Even better.
Click my name and vote.
There you go. No excuse as to why you can't. It's free.
The face of horror competition.
Yeah. So, all right. So, perfect. So, when that comes up, we'll post that. And if you could go and help him, hopefully we can win that for him. That would be nice.
Yeah, Michael will probably be coming with me to Halloween Horror Nights with the money again.
Yeah. So, that would be nice. If you don't mind voting for him when that comes out, we'll, like we said, post a link. Guess we can post it in one of the descriptions as well. Whatever YouTube video is coming out that week. We'll post it there as well. So, but we'll keep you updated.
Well, it's next week, or like it's this week already. It's on the 6th.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll.
I guess next week, technically.
Well, you have Tuesday. The link already, right?
Yeah.
Well, then we'll just post the link in this episode.
Yep.
And then you can just click from there.
For like 2 episodes, 2 or 3 episodes. I think the competition's going to run for.
Alrighty, so there you go. Check this episode's description for that link and go vote for my boy, please.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good to get into this episode.
Yes. So.
Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp. Yes. Cult classic. First, any horror news first before we actually dive into it? I know you wanted to mention some movies, I think, that were coming out.
Yeah, we have so many movies coming out these next 2 months, like September and October this year. I don't think I've ever seen this much like mainstream horror coming out.
Dope.
But first on the list, we have Evan Peters of American Horror Story fame. I forget what else he was in. He was in a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think mainly just known for American Horror Story.
Yeah. But he will be playing Jeffrey Dahmer in a new like Hulu series, kind of like Zac Efron did for Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
We have Bill Skarsgård's new movie, Barbarian, coming out on September 9th. Pearl, the prequel to X, is coming out on September 16th. Rob Zombie's The Munsters, September 27th. And I think also the Tim Burton Wednesday series comes out the same exact day on that.
Dope.
Hocus Pocus 2 will be out on September 30th. Terrifier 2, October 6th. And it's getting a theater release, which really, really surprised me and I'm really happy about. Because that would be fucking awesome to see.
Oh, yeah.
Hellraiser will be coming out on Hulu on October 7th. Spirit Halloween the movie is coming out on October 11th.
God, that's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from that. I guess the company's putting like all the money into it, which is funny to me. But like, if you have a company like that, you kind of have all the shit you need to make a horror movie already. So like, why not?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Then we got Halloween Ends on October 14th. That's going to be a theater and a Peacock release. And then VHS 99 on Shudder, October 20th.
Yeah, got a whole lot coming.
To look forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, The Black Phone is currently streaming on Peacock now. So if you haven't seen it yet and you have a Peacock account, go watch it.
Which I did not know it was streaming, and I got really excited when Michael told me that.
Yeah, people were posting it in the horror groups, and I was like, no way. So I definitely got to watch that too at some point.
I thought everyone was renting it. That's like, I kept seeing it pop up, and I was like,
I think they were at first. So I think within the last few days, maybe it just released on Peacock. Maybe even yesterday, I'm not sure. But very recently, it just released on Peacock. So go watch that if you have not.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching that at some point. The next like couple days, probably.
For sure. Oh yeah, me too. For sure. All right, I think that's all that we have for horror news. So I think now we can kind of get into some pre-movie talk here. Let's see. What do we got? Okay, so Sleepaway Camp, as we said. This released in 1983. It's rated R, and it's an hour and 28 minutes long. Currently streaming for free on Tubi, Pluto, Crackle, Plex. It's also on Amazon Prime right now if you have a subscription, and also the Roku channel if you have a Roku stick. So you can watch it for free on all those platforms, which is convenient. The movie had a $350,000 budget, and it made $11 million at the box office, and most likely mainly for the surprise twist ending, which we'll get into part 2 of the podcast episode if you haven't seen it.
I'm actually upset with how much money this made.
It surprised me when I was looking it up. That did surprise me. It was like $350K budget, and it made $11 million, and I was like, oh damn, all right.
I guess it makes sense though. Like that's like what horror's been since the very beginning. Like how cheap of a budget can we give this thing while just profiting by putting it in every single movie theater that we possibly can?
Yeah, fair enough. It gained
still the way horror goes now.
Yeah, it gained 4 sequels from that too. So I haven't watched any of the sequels. I literally just watched this movie for the first time, I think last night, if I'm not wrong.
Second one I heard is actually good. Like it's actually a better slasher movie than this one.
Which one?
The second one.
The second one? Oh, well, I'll have to check it out. But for anybody who doesn't know what this movie's about, I'll just read you a quick Google summary again. So it's about Angela Baker. She's a shy, traumatized young girl who's sent to a summer camp with her cousin. But shortly after her arrival, anyone with sinister or less than honorable intentions towards her, some crazy stuff starts happening to them. So that's where I'll leave that. We won't get into any spoilers right now. We'll play the trailer first, and then we'll go into some spoilers about it. But definitely something. I guess I don't know exactly how I want to describe it, but I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but it was something. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a very interesting movie.
Yeah, it's something. But Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 81%, IMDb a 6.2 out of 10, and Google reviews 90% of people liked it. So, honest ratings. It's not too awful. Definitely something that you could sit through and watch, and it's not like a slow burn or anything like that. Like it's pretty much right into it. So that's nice. I appreciate movies that do that and don't have you wait a whole hour before something happens. So
actually, what else did we watch recently that was like that? Oh, The Witch. It was like everything in the last half hour.
Literally everything. Yes. I just have a few little, I guess, facts about the movie that aren't spoiler related. So we'll just maybe read some of those really quick. But the main actress in this, Angela, was played by, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name right because I'm bad at pronouncing things. Is it Felissa Rose? Do you know? Before I keep pronouncing it that way.
I don't know if it's Felissa or Felicia.
Fair enough. It's spelled like Felissa, but it might be Felicia.
It might be
I don't know. I'm just gonna call her Rose. How about that? I'll just call her Angela from now on. But the actress, the actress was only 13 at the time of this movie, so that's very unusual for feature films because they normally like to cast actors who are 18 and over, who look younger just because of the restrictions that they have on using actors under 18 for extended hour shoots. And because she was 13, she was actually too young to see her own movie in the theaters, which I thought was funny.
I don't think at this point they really cared about child labor laws and slasher movies.
I mean, maybe not.
I think it's a little more buckled down at this point, but this is like indie production company, almost no regulation of people knowing what's going on. Just
you're not wrong.
Movie.
You're not wrong. And also the writer and director of this movie, Robert, is it Hiltzik? Again, really bad.
Yeah, don't fucking ask me.
That's how it looks here. It's Hilzik. So I'm going to go with Robert Hiltzik. He actually went to the camp used in the film, which I thought was really cool. Like when he was a kid, I guess he went to that camp. So that was a
like that.
cool fun
Anytime
fact.
somebody can like bring up their childhood and like the art that they're creating, like actually have it like as part of the story, like it's always cool to me.
True.
Like I like Stephen King's whole like New England, Maine stories and shit like that, just because it's like that's what he grew up.
Yep.
Sorry for that tangent.
No, you're good. You got it. The filming of this movie took place in Argyle, New York, near Summit Lake, at a camp formerly known as Camp. Again, I'm going to probably butcher this, but Algonquin.
Oh, okay.
So, don't know.
Good. No, you got it. Yeah.
Algonquin. All right. Some of these words are just so weird looking.
It's also a Canadian province, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, possibly. I don't know. Could be. I think that's all I have for some pre-movie facts, just because I don't want to give any away and some spoilers here. But is there anything you wanted to mention about it before we get into spoilers and go to the trailer?
Yeah, that's everything for me. I kind of want to start jumping in talking about this because it's a wild fucking movie.
That's very true. Very true. Okay, I think that's all I have too. So we're going to give you a little trailer break, and we'll include from this point forward the link to the trailers and the descriptions as well. That was a suggestion made to me by my father, which was actually a pretty good idea. So we'll be including the link to watch the trailer if you'd like to in the description. But you can also listen to it if you don't feel like watching it. So we'll include that.
Theoretically, for the video podcast, I could put the trailer in, but I don't know like copyright stuff.
Yeah, that's what concerns me too. But it's all right. We're gonna cut to the trailer. So enjoy your trailer, and we'll be back part 2 with some spoilers.
See you after the trailer.
Dear Mom and Dad, I've been at a sleepaway camp for almost 3 weeks, and I'm getting very scared.
Welcome to Sleepaway Camp. Someone is watching you.
Hey, Mama, Reba!
Someone is waiting for you. Someone wants to scare you to death.
Turn it! Turn the wheel! Oh my God!
Sleepaway Camp. You won't be coming home.
And we're back. Post-movie watch. Well, I mean, technically we watched it a few days ago, but post-movie watch, we're back.
It's fine.
All right. So, this movie kind of starts off a little like weird, random, I guess, because the first like scene in here is a dude getting hit by a speedboat, and that's like the first death. But like he's just like a random dude. Like he has no significance at all to the movie that I'm aware of. I mean, unless you gathered something that I missed, but he's just like a random dude, right?
I don't know. Well, he's the kid's dad. Like,
okay,
I assume, it's Angela's dad then.
But
I don't know because in the fucking... She has like a flashback and she's like laughing at her dad in bed with like another dude with her brother. So I don't know if her dad's gay or like what the fuck. But there's twins. It's a dude and like a boy and a girl twins. I assume that they're twins.
Was it her cousin's dad maybe that died, and that's why like because I think
I don't fucking know, dude.
I'm confused.
It's not clear at all.
Okay, so
there's just like random flashbacks to this shit. And
yeah,
like,
all right. I'm glad it's not just me then, because I thought I was
sense.
missing something or I missed something in here. But all right, if you're feeling the same way, then okay.
No, I was gonna bring it up later. Like this just this is pushing up my fucking argumentative state. Yeah, like the backstory for this movie makes no fucking sense.
Yeah,
and it's just like balls to the wall.
Yeah,
unclear.
All right, so glad we're on the same page for that, because I really thought I missed something, and it's like, okay, I'm not really sure. Nothing's lining up for me, but all right, so same for you. But if anybody's seen this movie and you want to explain a little bit more, feel free to do that in our comments, because we're both a little confused here. But let us know if we're missing something. But yeah, that's the first scene in here, and that's the first death as well. But after that, you don't. Angela doesn't talk until 30 minutes into this movie. This whole time she's mute. I don't know if there was something. That's what I mean. Like maybe it was her dad. Maybe she's mute because of the trauma that she just went through. Like I don't know. But like the ending makes it feel like that's not her dad. But I don't know.
Do you want to give away the twist now or later? Because I feel like it's going to be easier to explain shit if you just put the twist out there now.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so if you haven't watched this movie and you don't want the ending spoiled for you, please pause this and go watch it, because this is like the big spoiler of this movie, and why this movie is considered such a cult classic is because of the ending and the surprise twist ending that it has. So if you have not watched it and you would like to, please go do that. Like I said, it's streaming for free on multiple platforms right now. So go watch it if you want to. If not, we are going to spoil that right now. So the ending of this, it's revealed that Angela was actually Yep. Here we go. That Angela was actually born Peter. So she was born a boy. And I'm still unsure of the exact reason as to why it's her aunt, right? That she lives with?
Well, 2 people died in that boating accident. It was his sister then. I don't know if it's his or her. Like, this isn't like a pronoun thing. Like, it's so unspecified that, like, at what fucking...
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck to call.
If it was that point, then it was probably he at that point then.
Yeah.
So...
Well, yeah. So, his sister, and I assume dad, die in that boating accident.
Okay, so that makes sense with the boating accident.
Smacks the shit out of... the dad, and then I forget what happens to his sister. I think she just gets like cut up or something.
Something, yeah. But then she goes to live with the aunt, and the aunt already had a boy. So she was like, well, that's no good for me. Like, you're not going to be a boy. Like, I'm going to raise you as a girl because I already have a boy. And she's nuts.
So fucking insanely disturbed.
Oh, yes. Very creepy and a crazy lady, for sure.
She seems like a 40s era TV mom. Like a Leave It to Beaver type, like, overacting. I don't know if that was purposely done to show, like, how insane she is.
Yeah.
But after, like, everything she says, she's like, wasn't that nice of me?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay. Definitely creepy. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, she just basically changes Peter's gender because she already has a little boy in the house, so she wants a little girl. So she just decides that Peter is now going to be Angela. So that's the ending, and that's, the very iconic ending scene is Angela standing over the dead body that she just decapitated, and like a very weird like screaming face on her, but like no scream coming out that I heard anyway. Like just it was so
really weird breathing. It was like breathing through your throat.
Yeah, it was just very weird and like uncomfortable to look at. And then she's naked, and you just see like her penis basically, and they're all like, "She's a man." Yeah.
And that just fades to the fucking credits.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
that's
no explanation, no anything.
Yeah, that's the ending. So, so surprise if you're still listening and you didn't know that. But, this whole movie is mainly just her getting revenge on everybody who was bullying her while she's at this camp. And that was a lot of people because everybody in this movie was basically bullying her for every little thing. Like, she came into this camp not talking to anybody, which again, I'm assuming is from her trauma or whatever is going on in her head. But she just doesn't talk to anybody because everybody's like mean to her. And it's, if I feel like if it was me and I was at a camp and I had this kid come in and they weren't talking to anybody, it wouldn't be my first, instinct to just make fun of them and like yell at them for not talking, because like, what the fuck is that going to help? But that's what they do to her. So everybody's really mean to her.
I thought about it a little bit just now. Shouldn't it be a he if he was forced to change against his will?
I mean, arguably,
like, if
yes.
he doesn't want it, like, wouldn't he still probably like be going as a he pronoun?
You would think so. Maybe that's why Angela's so angry as well, because it was really against their. I'm just gonna say they and them then, since I really don't know what pronoun to call them. But
I've lost track.
Yeah, because I mean you're not wrong though, and that's not a wrong thing to think, because like it really was against their will. Like, they didn't choose, like, okay, like, I'm trans, I feel like I'm a woman. Like, okay, cool, that's fine. But it was really chosen for them. Like, the aunt was like, no, you're a girl now. Okay, like, that's not really how that works, but all right.
It's one of the many things that like add to this movie just being so fucking problematic. Like, when people look at problematic movies, this is the definition of one. Like, I can see everybody going in this movie and getting upset about it. Yeah. Like, there is some parts in this movie that even I was upset about, where I was like, this is too far. Like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah. For sure. So it's definitely something.
I guess that's the point of horror, though.
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong. And this was an 80s movie, so different time. So I get it. Not offended by it or anything like that. Like, it is what it is, but definitely confusing. Like, what really would you call Angela, because that was against their will? So like I said, I'm just going to use gender neutral pronouns for them, because I don't know, I'm not trying to disrespect Angela's character here.
I don't think it fucking matters, because they're fucking they're not real.
You're not wrong, but still I feel bad.
But just for like the sake of talking about it, like,
yeah,
I just want to know like what the hell the actual semantics of it would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's really the gist of this movie, is just them getting revenge on everybody who wronged them. And like I said, that's a lot of people. I think there's like 12 or so deaths in here. So, she gets to kill a lot of people in here. Let me see. If you go, all right, so the second one in here, the second death, it's the camp cook there, or the chef, whatever you want to call him. His name was Artie, it's debatable that it was a death, I'll say that, because it doesn't really confirm if he died or not, but he was scalded alive with boiling hot water by Angela.
My note for this part is his pedos are fun.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. Like, this one was well deserved. Like, before this happened, I think, I don't know, one of the other like workers there or counselors, she wasn't eating the food. So he took her back to the chef and was like, hey, like, she's not eating this food. She hasn't eaten in a few days. Like, would you be able to make her something else? And, he was just creepy from the very moment you met this dude. And like one of the opening scenes at the camp, he was like staring at the girls coming in, and like, they're obviously all young. Like, this is a teenage, preteen camp thing. So they're all young girls there, and he's staring at them. But this scene, he takes her back to him, and he takes her into the pantry, and he's like, I'll give you something good, and like starts taking his pants down, or like trying to get his dick out. And then her cousin thankfully comes back to find her before anything happens. And which at that case, like, he pins a little boy up against the thing, was like, you didn't see nothing. You didn't see anything. Like, and then like shortly after that, he's in the kitchen by himself trying to put stuff into the stew or whatever, the big ass pot he's got, and he's leaning over.
Corn. Just corn.
Cone? Cone?
God damn it. No. We'll not be referencing current memes in the podcast.
But yeah, no, he was just leaning over this big ass pot, and then somebody just takes the stool from underneath of him, and the pot ends up spilling all over him. And one of the notes that I have written down here is that the effects in this movie were actually pretty good, I think, for being like an 80s
I think
movie.
that's where all the budget went to.
Probably.
Pretty sure that's just like every fucking ounce of budget went to that.
Because like his bubbling, disgusting skin like looked really gross. So it wasn't something that was like, oh yeah, that's clearly fake. Like it looked disgusting. So that was cool.
And also like the lighting and like the overall like filmography, like what's the word? Like cinematography of it. Like it was actually decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have that right in my notes as well. So that's nice for an 80s movie. But again, typical 80s movie theme, for whatever reason, is just bad acting. So it does have that. It's got nice effects, you know, for being the 80s, but it's also got some awful acting. So it's kind of a toss-up here, but it is what it is.
I forgot one thing about the fucking mom. Like, before she sends the cousin and Angela off to camp, she's like, oh, here are your doctor's notes for the camp. Don't tell you how you got them. Or don't tell them how you got them. What the fuck do you mean? Like, a doctor's not normal? Like, they're requiring doctor's notes.
Yeah.
Like, why would
she
you
probably
just
fucking forged them or something. That's probably what she meant. Like, don't tell them how you got them.
She said, like, she's apparently a doctor.
Oh, there you go.
So, like, I don't fucking know. But, like, yeah. Why would the kids just fucking say, oh, yeah, my mom did this or whatever? Like, no, that's not how things... No, it's a doctor's note. It's fine. Whatever.
That's one of the, like, two hidden clues in here that Angela was born a boy. It was that scene, and then also the scene where one of the other campers asks her why she always showers alone. Why she couldn't swim in the lake with the other campers. Like, that was kind of the other one that once you know what happens at the end, you're like, so that's why that was in there. So
it's still so fucking stupid.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not saying that gives it a pass or anything, but I'm just, once you watch it and you get to the ending and you remember those two specific parts, it just kind of like clicks and you're just like, okay, gotcha. But still, it doesn't make any sense. You're right. It not necessary.
It's just like, you could have blamed it on anything. Like, it's the trauma from seeing like her dad and brother die from a young age, or her sister. Yeah,
true.
Their sister, his sister. I don't fucking know. It's hard to talk about this movie. Okay.
If you just use they or them, it's gonna go a lot smoother for you. Oh man.
I just like, I keep stumbling upon the fact of like it was forced upon him. So like,
yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean. That's like, what do you're not wrong for whatever you call them, because it wasn't their choice to transition. Like, it was forced upon them. So is Angela really a girl? No, because they didn't choose that. So could you still refer to Angela as Peter and he without it being like a big thing? Probably, because again, they didn't choose that. So either way, I'm just gonna stick with they them because it makes me feel better. But don't matter.
I'll go with that. It's a they. I forget where I was going before this. What did I yell about?
We keep getting sidetracked by what's it called, Angela.
It's so hard to talk about because there's just like so many layers of like fuckery, and it makes no fucking sense throughout the whole fucking movie. It's just thrown in there for like a twist.
Pretty much. But I mean, honestly, it worked for them because they made $11 million.
It's stupid though. Why?
Just that twist.
The more I talk about it, the more I want to go like just flop with this. Like, I don't like this movie. It makes me feel icky.
Yeah, we didn't do our favorite flop yet. for those of you who are new, since we do have a bunch of these now, we do this little fear flop rating, which is just like a watch or don't rating kind of. And if it's we'll do like a if we choose to make it a fear, we'll do like a fear 1 through 10. 1 obviously being like it's okay, and a 10 being it's great. And then if we choose flop, we also do a 1 through 10, and a 1 being like like it could be a fear, it's not too awful, and then a flop 10 meaning like please don't ever watch this movie. So what do you think that you'd give this one, honestly though?
It's definitely a flop, but I don't know like where on the spectrum, because like it's fine. Like it's a slasher movie. It's just like so tries to make you upset.
Yeah.
And just like ill-mannered. That's like it has to be like a flop 4 or 5 for me.
Okay. It's funny. And
I'm like I'm not like this normally with movies. I don't know why this movie specifically just like hit me weird, but like I just did not like it.
Yeah. It's funny. That's kind of the opposite for me. I liked it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I would give it a fear, and I'd probably give it like a fear 4. And I think the only reason that I'm doing that is because typically, like some slasher movies that come from the 80s or the 70s for me are just so hard to sit through because of how awful the acting is or how awful the effects are. That this one I was actually able to sit through and actually pay attention to it. That I can't give it a flop. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
I do like the effects in this movie a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, the acting wasn't too great either, but I can get past the acting because of like I was able to get through the story. Go ahead.
Did we mention the kid with the random New York accent in the beginning?
No, I don't think you did. I think you skipped that.
Okay. Talking to Michael before we started recording, at the fucking start, like during the boat accident, like young Peter, I guess. He just has a fucking New York accent for no reason. No other person in the entire like lake area has a New York accent.
Yeah.
And this kid just has like a fucking harsh Brooklyn fucking
like I said,
edge to him, and it's like no one else is talking like that. Get another kid. Why? Why did you pick this kid?
I mean, they filmed it in New York, so he's probably just readily available.
Get another fucking kid without the accent when no one else has it.
Fair enough.
It bothered me so much.
Oh, man.
Like, consistency and like integrity of the movie kind of relies on you to be, hey, this is the specific area we're from.
Yeah.
Keep everyone similar.
True. Let me see. I forget where we were going before we got in that little tangent, but I do have
talking about fear flop.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I said a fear 4, and you said like a flop 4. So like we're kind of on opposite ends, but like I said, it's just because I was able to sit through it and like actually watch it, and you know stuff happens at a decent rate here. So like you're not watching for 45 minutes and nothing's happening. Like there's consistent like kill after kill after kill. So like I think it's probably why I was able to sit through it too. And like I said, just the graphics weren't that awful to see, which was nice. Just if you can get past the acting, which I think I'm getting used to it now because we've watched a bunch now with just awful acting that I kind of just expect it from this like time of movies.
Of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked it though. I mean, it's something that I'd probably definitely watch again, and I do want to get to the sequels of this at some point as well. So don't know if I'll do it for the podcast or not, but I definitely want to check them out myself.
I think partially like what my reasoning for my rating is like, this is just a worse Friday the 13th.
That's
like,
funny you say that because that's literally the same shit that I was thinking. It's funny.
Like it's completely fine, but like it's just Friday the 13th, the first couple aren't that good. Like they're good, but they're not that like acting wise and everything else. They're not that good. This is worse than that. So it's like I can see better with that franchise.
Fair. See, I'm on the opposite. Is I think like the first Friday the 13th is good, and obviously it's Friday the 13th. It's a classic, but I think I've attempted to watch Friday the 13th like maybe 10 times or more, and I'm never able to sit down and watch the whole thing because I just get bored after a minute. So I think that's where I'm kind of opposite of you in this, because I mean, I've definitely I know what Friday the 13th is about, and I've watched a few of them, but like I've never been able to just sit and watch the whole fucking thing because it just starts to bore me. Whereas this movie, I was able to actually sit down and watch it. So I don't know, I'm opposite of you for some reason this time.
Let's do that one time because I own every single Friday the 13th movie. My dad got them for me last year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely down to watch it. I mean, it's obviously an iconic movie in the horror community, but like I said, I've just tried so many times to sit down and watch it, and I always end up getting up and going to do something else because I just get bored, and I don't know why, but
yeah, I'm that way with most movies, and you've been witness to this now.
Yeah,
like sitting through a movie with me, I just like get up and start cleaning or like whatever. It's so ADHD, but like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like I said, for this movie, I was able to actually sit down and watch it, which surprised me because I came into it assuming it was going to be like Friday the 13th and that I was going to have a really hard time watching it, but I was actually able to get through it, so that's nice. Let me see what else. All right, I'm just going to start going through some of the deaths here because, like I said, the whole thing of this movie is just her killing people because they were mean to her, so I can't really go into
the whole movie literally just goes bullying camp activity, activity.
That's literally activity. It. Literally. So the third, we did the first one with the boating accident, and the second one with the hot water, with the chef. So the third one is a camp, another, what's the word I'm looking for? Not one of the counselors, but just another kid at the camp, Kenny. He was drowned in the lake by Angela. So he was with another girl in the lake. They were in a boat, and he ended up like fooling around and tipping it over or whatever. And the girl swam back to shore, and then he was like under the boat.
I actually have that in my notes. I was like, I'd be pissed if I had to flip that fucking boat back over. That's the only thing I could focus on.
Yeah. But he was the third one. She drowned him underneath that. And that scene, like in the morning, then when they find his body and they see him and there's like a snake crawling out of his mouth, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
It was nasty. But again, that goes to the good effects that are in this movie, and for it being an 80s movie, I was surprised, but also it was nice to see it, but not in a weird way. I always say it's nice to see that kind of stuff, and I don't mean it in a weird way, but like, it was nice to see good effects in an 80s movie. Is what I mean by that.
If you tried saying that during X, we would have a problem.
True.
I mean, we kind of did, but
yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
I don't want to be labeled the horror creeps.
True. Yeah, please don't call us that. That's not what I mean. Okay, so then after Kenny, it's another camper there, Billy, which he was in the bathroom, and Angela put like a beehive in the bathroom window, and he was stung by like so many bees. Like it was like a whole Candyman situation, like so many bees.
Speaking of which, I was stung by a wasp today right on the fingertip.
That
was fun.
You sent me all those pictures of those fucking hives outside your house, and I was like, what the fuck?
I have a literal horror movie dangling on the side of my fucking house right now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It is like a fucking 2 foot by 2 foot cubic fucking hive.
Yeah.
It's just on the
disgusting
fucking tip of my roof.
Oh, yeah.
And I only have like 2 stories, so it's like it's close to the ground, but like not enough where I can reach it. It is so fucking big. It's the biggest hive I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like me and my landlord have used 4 cans of Raid on this thing, and it's still going.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
He's gonna have to call you a fucking exterminator or a beekeeper.
It's at that point, yeah.
Because that's a big ass hive.
It's terrifying.
Sorry, we're a little off track here, but yeah, that was disgusting. He sent me those pictures earlier, and I was like, "Oh God!"
I kind of want to put it like into the video now. Like, just have a fucking picture of it.
Go for it if you can do it. So if you see a random picture of a fucking beehive right now, that's Adam's house. So. Oh God!
See the fucking horror that I'm living with.
Literally. All right, so that was the fourth kill here with Billy. And then it goes to another camper there, Meg, which this one was possibly my favorite one here because I think it's a slasher movie, but this is the only stabbing that you get to see happen. And it's with Meg, and she's stabbed from the back while she's in the shower by Angela. And it's like a whole, like a line, like she stabs her and then she like takes the knife down and like cuts her open. And I was like, oh, damn. All right. Let me see here. And then the next 4 kills here are just random male campers that were there. Obviously ones that were bullying her at some point in this movie because, like I said, a lot of people were bullying her. But 4 of them were hatcheted to death by Angela in this. And you just kind of,
Oh yeah, I forgot all those fucking kids died.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen her actually do it, but they just kind of show you like random body parts all around.
Yeah, and like the sleeping bags like all fucked up.
Yeah, so that's all you see from that. You don't actually see her do anything to them, but they're just all cut up. So that was the next 4. And then the 10th one, which I actually missed somehow and didn't see it, but Adam did confirm with me before we started recording that it did happen. But another camper there, Judy, she had a hot curling iron shoved up her vagina by Angela. And I missed this one. But Adam, you said it's just like you seen like the silhouette of it, right? Like you don't actually see obviously anything happen. Yeah. But
she like moans a little bit and you're like, okay, what's going on? And then like she like stabs her with it. Right in the pussy. Right in the pussy.
Right in it. All right. Yeah, no, I don't know how I missed that, but when I was going over and researching more into it, and that was one of the kills that they said, and I was like, I did not see that. But maybe it's because it was just a silhouette, so I probably just missed it. But yeah, so that happened. So that was death number 10.
And honestly, it looked like one of those curling irons that like look like anal beads.
Fair enough. Probably why she moaned.
It's so fucking weird looking. Well, I think like she pretended to be like the boyfriend or whatever, or the boy who was there before.
Oh, maybe.
And then like she came in with like her face covered or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like it was weird. This whole fucking movie's weird. I don't like it. It makes you so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's literally, it starts off with the fucking pedo. So
yes, that was
understand.
literally my first note in here. Well, I lied. The boat thing was my first note, and the bad acting.
Mine was the New York accent.
Mine was the bad acting in the boat, and then it was the chef is a creep.
Yep.
All right, but then after that death, you have number 11 with one of the, I think he was a counselor there or some type of like administration role within the camp, and his name was Mel, and he was shot in the neck with an arrow by Angela. It's kind of out of nowhere.
Thank God, because this fucking guy literally beat up a child, like Angela's cousin. He beat up because he thought he was the killer. And it's just like literally knocks him out and just leaves him on the ground.
All right, so the last death that we have here is the ending scene, which we kind of talked about in the beginning here, with the decapitation that Angela did. And it was to this boy, Paul, who she was actually kind of like in a relationship with on and off during this movie. He was actually the first person that she spoke to. About 30 minutes into the movie, he got her to speak to her. I should have wrote down what she said, but it was just something just real short and sweet. But he was the first person that she talked to. And they end up like kissing and just kind of kind of being a couple, but I don't know if it was ever really like an official like couple. But then he ends up kissing, I believe it was Meg at some point, like
No, she kisses
whatever.
him.
Yeah, you're right. But but they end up kissing because like the girl Meg was again one of the ones that bullied Angela and was kind of, I think, more or less doing it just to piss off Angela. Didn't really like Paul. But you know,
because she was literally like right after that, she was at the dance with the other dude, like in the fucking room making out.
So that's, you know, she's obviously just doing it to be a bitch. But he falls for it because, you know, he's a boy who's going through hormones and, you know, wants to do stuff, and Angela wasn't willing to do stuff with him. And I mean, once you get to the ending, you kind of realize why. But you know, he was just trying to fool around, and that was a girl that was willing to give him the sexual attention that he was looking for, that Angela wasn't giving him. But he ends up being the last death here, and she decapitates him. Like, she tells him to meet her by the lake at night, and he meets her there, and she ends up showing up. And then, like I said, the ending scene happens with her standing over his body, decapitated, and that's when you see her wiener, and you realize that Angela was actually Peter. So that
Peter with a Peter.
Peter with a Peter. I hate you for that.
Maybe that's why they named him Peter.
Oh man. But yeah, that's it. That's the movie. That's how it ends. And you know, obviously, like I said, she killed like 12 people during her, or not 12, because the first one wasn't technically her, but 11 people then that die because of her. But I mean, again, if they just would have been nice to her and not bullied her, she wouldn't have done that. So go Angela. No.
Yeah, I really wish there was some sort of like resolve after this instead of it just fading to the fucking credits with her weird ass like superimposed face on a man's body.
Yeah. That was just so weird. That was so weird. And it creeped me out because like I'm watching this last night and I'm by myself and it's dark and I'm watching it, and it's just for some reason, whatever movie, if there's just like a gaping mouth open and it's just staring, for some reason that just scares the shit out of me. Doesn't matter what movie it is, but it's just so creepy that I'm just like, oh God, stop, close your mouth.
I hate Japanese horror.
I probably would. Because that shit.
All it is. Yeah.
Oh my God, that shit creeps me the fuck out. And I don't, like I said, I don't know why, but it's just something about like their mouth being open. I think there's I don't think you have, but Hill House or something like that. It's a show on Netflix that came out a few years ago.
One episode with an X, and that was it.
Yeah, I watched that, and there's this one scene that is in there where, like, again, it's the mouth thing. Like the dad's mouth just opens like that, and I'm just like, oh God, stop, go away. Like, it's just something about that.
I think that's that like uncanny valley thing where it's like it's human, but like something's wrong with it.
Yeah, maybe, because that just creeps me the fuck out. So that was the ending of this movie, and I was like, oh God, thank God that was the end, because no way, no thank you.
I don't like it either, but I have a different reason for it. For me, it was I don't know what the fuck I was watching as a kid, but it like something dove underneath floorboards. I think it was like in a church or something, but it like went underneath the floorboards, and you could see floorboards moving. But then it was a jump scare, and it was literally just like whatever this thing was with the giant fucking mouth open. I had to have been like an episode of X-Files or some shit.
Maybe, yeah.
But like,
it's weird.
I could not sleep for a week after that, and it still fucks with me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something with the fucking mouth being open like that. Like, I just want to fucking just close it for him. Like, stop it. Close your mouth.
I'm going to stumble upon that scene at some point now, and it's going to make me cry because I'm going to be so fucking terrified of it all over again. Because it's like one of those, this is the first time I was terrified. Like, I couldn't fucking sleep terrified.
True. One of the notes that I do have in here that I skipped over, did the Capture the Flag game that they played, did that remind you of Fear Street at all?
Yeah,
Do
I
you
think it's
Fear
just an 80s thing.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but that was as soon as they started playing the Capture the Flag game, I was like, wonder if that's where Fear Street got this from.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, it could have been anything, but it reminded me of that right away. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
Fear
really
Street,
think
nice.
It's just fucking 80s.
An 80s thing. Yeah, you're right. That's really probably what it was, but that's what it reminded me of right away.
I have one other note, too, about one of the activities, the baseball game. And when he's just like, eat shit and die. Kid comes up, eat shit and live,
like,
Bill.
Eat shit and live.
It's like, fucking got him.
Yeah, what's worse? Yeah, that was funny too. I think that's all I have in my notes. If I'm not wrong, let me see if I have anything
notes
that
are dry.
Are dry. Let me see. I guess one of the notes that I have here is that while the scene with the canoe that flips over in the lake when the kid gets drowned, the actor who played was it Kenny? Yeah, Kenny actually hurt his hand during that. He cut it open against a sharp rock on the bottom of the lake and had to be rushed to the hospital. So wanted to mention
That's
that.
fucking fault. Why would he do that?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, why would you do that, Kenny?
Idiot.
Yeah, I think that's it then. I think that's everything that I had in my notes. So that's the movie. I mean, do you have anything else you wanted to bring up? I think we covered everything.
I do not. We covered pretty much everything this movie has to offer.
True. That's really all it is a bunch of revenge for, the bullying that she encountered. Which that's why, like, most of these deaths, like, I don't have any empathy for any of the characters because they're all pieces of shit. So,
yeah, I think that's why the other reason why I don't really like this movie is everyone's just a piece of shit. Like,
yeah,
there's not one person in here that I feel good about, like, supporting besides maybe Peter's cousin, Angela's cousin.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with it. I think just because it throws so much information at you.
Yeah, like I said, it's
try
just
to
because
guess who's
not.
who.
Yeah, it's just because it wasn't their choice. Like I said, it's hard to say she or he because I mean, given the choice, would Angela have chose to be Angela? I don't know. I mean, we don't know. She could have, she could have actually been trans, but she was kind of forced to be Angela. So I think either pronoun would be okay to use. I mean, obviously she was all fucked up from it because of the way that she reacted to everything like that. And at the end with the mouth scene and, pecker hanging out. So something wasn't right. So
I think we're just trying to put way too much logic into a 1 and
80s
20-minute movie from the 80s.
Yeah. You're right. You're definitely right. You're definitely right. But yeah, no, I think that's the movie. I think that's all we got for this week. Correct?
That is everything from your boy.
All right, so that's everything from me then too. So that's a wrap on this one. So a fear from me and a flop from him. So if you haven't seen it, I guess go check it out if you want to. Like I said, this movie was a cult classic because of that ending. So I think even if you haven't seen it, I definitely would recommend watching it just because of the fact that it's such a well-known movie and something that a lot of people like appreciate the ending, I guess, because of the twist of it. But definitely watch it if you haven't. But next week, we are diving into one of my favorites, which is kind of I guess, not a favorite of everybody in the horror community, but one of mine, House of Wax. And not the original House of Wax, I don't know what year it was, but the one that came out in like early 2000s, House of Wax.
That's fucking Paris Hilton in it, if that gives you an example
Yes.
of like when it's from.
and Chad Michael Murray, which obviously was the how can I describe that?
Heartthrob.
There you go, heartthrob. I was literally just going to say it. The heartthrob of the early 2000s. So there you go.
I forget,
That's
was he
what
on like
movie we're
Dawson's
diving
Creek
into.
and shit?
Yes, he was. I'm ashamed that I knew that right away, but yes, he was. There was like no hesitation.
The writer for fucking Dawson's Creek made Scream, so it's relevant.
Well, there you go. I actually never watched that show, but I did know that he was from that. It was like an immediate, like, yes, actually, he was.
Yeah, Kevin Williamson, the like writer for Dawson's Creek and like creator of it. Yeah, he wrote Scream.
Damn. All right, cool.
And also Halloween H2O.
Oh. Yeah, did not expect that at all.
The more you know about horror.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's where we're going next. So stay tuned for that. Again, like I said, Jesus, what was I trying to say? Like I said, one of my favorites. So really excited to dive into that. And Adam has not seen that one before, so excited for him to see it. He might hate it though, but I like it.
I'll probably be fine with it. It's just another fucking early 2000s movie that kind of reminds me of everything else that came out that year. Like Scream, H2O, fucking House of Wax, House on Haunted Hill. Like they're all fucking that same kind of teen horror-y vibe.
True.
13 Ghosts.
Yeah, true.
Just naming them.
But I think that's all we have for this week. So, thank you to everybody who has subscribed and started following us within the last few days. I definitely appreciate that and hope that you'll stay with us and continue along our journey with us. Spread it to your friends. Let them know. If you know people who are into horror movies, send them our way. Definitely looking to add more people to the Deadlight Society. And I feel like we need like a name for our group here. I always want to call them the Society, but I'm afraid they're not going to get the reference.
Floaters.
But it's literally just like the floaters. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Just call them floaters from now on.
Yeah. Which, okay, maybe not, because it just reminds me of like poop.
Poop. Oh god. All right, so not floaters. We'll figure something out. But just thank you guys to everybody who's following along. Hope you stay. Hope you enjoy what we're doing here. Like I said in the beginning, we're always trying to improve and get better. So if there's anything, any suggestions that you have for us, please send them our way. Whether that's in the comments or if you guys message us on Facebook, whatever. Like we enjoy interacting with you guys. So, send us a message. Have a conversation with us. What's your favorite scary movie? It could be something that we haven't seen before, and we might add it to our list of things to check out. Had somebody recommend a zombie movies are his favorite movies, so I said that we'd add that to our list. So, just have conversations with us. We definitely want to hear from you guys and want to interact with the community. So, I think just want to end with that. Just a general thank you, and hope to keep you around. So, you got anything else?
Nope, that's everything for me.
Alrighty. Like I said, I'm going to put the Cash App link in the description for here. So, if you wouldn't mind helping us out, we definitely appreciate that. But if you can't, we understand. Just give our videos a like and a share if you would. That also helps us out. So, we will see you next week for House of Wax. And if you don't have anything else, I think that's the end.
See you next week.
All right. See you next week.